There are different trails, but they all lead to the truth. Follow, 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 follow. Welcome to another episode of Rabbit Trails, where you never know where we may go. Today we have a couple guests on the show, so try gang. Okay. We're gonna start. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Asia. I go by Asia Moore on all platforms.
Period. It's a Gia Solstice. You can follow me on Gia Soul on all platforms.
West Poppin' Beautiful People. It's your boy Andro. Okay, it's Andro, heavy on the ooh, light on the O. Okay, Andro. Heavy on the O, light on the ooh. Anyway, and you can follow me at Andro Sings. That's ANDROSINGS.
Don't play with it. It's Jupiter, the big one, not the little one. But y'all can follow me on Instagram at Ju from Jupiter. No O.
So today we're going to be talking about dating in 2023. I want to know what you guys think of what is the problem with dating in today's society. I feel it's not enough balance and people aren't assertive, or there's a lot of people that are dating with not the right intentions, or some people that shouldn't even be dating. They should be getting their shit together and they need to go heal or something. So that's just my small view on it, but I'm gonna pass the mic to Asia.
Ooh, my opinions on dating in this year?
Yeah, this year.
Oh my gosh. My first one is to not.
Period.
But no, it's not even like on some nah. It's just about knowing that I really just getting my own shit together and realizing I have to prioritize myself because I'm so used to giving my energy away so freely. So just valuing myself and my energy enough to be okay, this is what I want. I deserve that. I deserve what I want. I don't have to negotiate. I get to be who I am.
That makes sense. I like that.
The biggest issue when it comes to dating is people being authentically themselves. Being able to recognize yourself and be able to be strong enough to know what you want. It's hard for most of us because we've been conditioned to pain. We've been conditioned to make ourselves small, to do what is wanted of us. You know, we have our own wounds, and when you're consistently on go, it's you don't have the moment to actually have the discernment to be okay, this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need. Men, they are following toxic masculinity. They don't have a balance with themselves. They don't have the balance of their feminine and their masculine energy to be able to then alchemize and do what they've been conditioned into toxic masculinity, to not have feelings. A lot of these men have been abused, beat. Almost all of these men have lost their virginity and been sexually assaulted. But they're taught to not recognize that.
It's not talked about. So everything's just been buried. So when people don't understand that if you don't heal from your past and you don't take care of your childhood trauma, that stuff carries on to your relationships. It carries on to your relationships. Now your partner has to be your fucking parent instead of you recognizing damn, I need to change this about myself. And then some, relationships, they help you, even if it's a fucked up or if it's karmic, it helps you learn things about yourself. So I don't take nothing from relationships.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what you said, just taking the time to heal and to recognize that for ourselves, and also have the attachment. The attachment is very hard for us because when we think about a person, we think about the way we felt towards them. We think about them the way we see them.
Personally, knowing what it is that you want, I guess leaning heavy on that intentionality when it comes to dating. I feel that's why I've had the experiences that I've had, or I become very pattern driven, right? So for myself, I know when it comes to relationships, I think it's a lack of intentionality and knowing what you want and setting those boundaries around what it is, because I think a lot of people are conditioned to pain. They want to or everybody thinks love has to be a struggle. And the struggle isn't in the love part. The love is actually what keeps you together. The struggle is learning how to break down each other's communication, and interpret for one another and learn each other. That's the hard part. And I'm a quick study. I'm
not a quick study.
I am. I'm a no.
I think you never truly really know somebody, because me, I'm a type of person, I peel off in layers. Nobody will never know on me. You won't get the good sex. It'll get better and better each time. I'm just like an onion, you gotta peel me. So it's so I don't know if you could really know somebody in 8 months.
But I think for me, if
Fully.
you don't get past that, because I'm very much the same way. Like,
I get it.
even with
Mine
the
is a
sex and
year.
everything, you know, like you're peeling these layers back. Let's say that 8-month layer, that what it is, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, can I see you? I'm thinking long term now. Because if we're going to make it to a year, that's a full year investment.
Gosh, I was lesbians was like that shit. We moved in the second fucking day. I met
The U-Haul
people
was ready.
I wasn't ready. I woke up like a week later, like, what the fuck? What
Bitch,
is
not be
this? I got a
together,
whole
for
new
real.
stepkid.
We
Like,
together. We
I'm
locked
raising
in.
kids. There's all types of shit going on.
No, I can't.
Toxic.
I cannot. The first, we can get to that later, but I cannot. Like, I'm usually very strong. I'm not even thinking of moving. I'm not even posting a nigga until we make it to that year mark, and most of the niggas don't make it to that year mark.
Okay.
Shit, mine is a year, and I end up with motherfuckers for 2 years. 2 years, 2.5, 2.25, little change. No, I'm not even working. For real.
I feel like my issue is probably thinking that by the year I should know if you're gonna be my husband or not.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Because I do
So
feel
let's
like that.
do realistic expectations. Maybe too many expectations. And not letting it flow. I think a lot of us have these expectations, and then when somebody doesn't live up to them, we like, to hell with this. So we never really try or see past that because our checklist is already not checked off. So we're like, but we could miss out on a good opportunity.
I'm okay with potential. I love
Oh
potential.
my
I
gosh.
love- because like I can love you through your potential. Because I see, I'm a maximizer.
Potential.
Right.
I'm done with
You.
No.
I fall in love.
No, baby.
Cut it out.
I fall in love with people's potential, and
Cut it
it
out.
screws me over in the long run because they don't see their potential. It's like
Yeah.
Yes.
you can see all the potential in somebody. You can see the greatness. Oh my God, you're so wonderful. You're great. You're pretty. But if they don't look in the mirror and feel that themselves, then they never step into their potential. Therefore, you're dating that version that you haven't accepted of them because that's really who they are. Until they step into their potential, you're just dating potential. So don't date for potential.
Don't date for
people
potential.
for who they are, where they are, and you know if people have like that drive or like you know when you see a hustler, you know when you see a go-getter, you know like a person that get like I'm the type of person that get things done. If I say it, I'm doing it. I'm preparing to do it. Some people just talk to hear themselves fucking talk and no action. That I think that is an issue in the dating too. You know, people portray themselves to be who they think you want them to be instead of who they truly are, and then you start breaking down the walls and you like you really a bum. Oh, you ain't took no bath.
That's why.
You don't even know type shit. Yeah. Like,
That's why I got 8 months out of there.
Oh, you don't pay bills. You know, so
We didn't peel back enough layers. Now I know.
I think it would be better if people presented themselves as they are instead
Yes.
of
It's not
what they
authentic.
portray.
Yeah,
to be.
being authentically
Be
you.
yourself.
Like, being authentically.
I don't want to date no man.
And it's a
who's out
lesson
here
we all
trying to
have to learn, you know what I'm saying? Because we all have the collective experience of, not having good dating experience. And most of us, it becomes a pattern, we cultivate it, and we continue it. And I feel like then we're now conditioned to fuck dating. Fuck them niggas. Fuck them niggas. Fuck all these
Fuck
niggas.
love.
I ain't never gonna trust another nigga again. Fuck it. Actually, you know what I'm saying?
And
Fuck that
then-
nigga sign. Fuck it.
And you know,
Spiritually.
spiritually.
But it
really,
cuts us off from actual love.
It does because now you got a whole bunch of people being like fuck love and
Like you said. And love
so
is
they're
an
not giving
experience
it a
regardless.
chance. They're
Even
not.
that
You have to be vulnerable for love too, and nobody wants to be vulnerable anymore because nobody feels safe. So I think really providing a safe space, and I've learned that, you know, in my last relationship, like you have to be able to provide that safe space for somebody to be able to talk to you. You know, I was the type, I close off. I don't want to hear shit. I'm talking. I'm talking. But so like I understand, you know, somebody being like, well damn, you never want to hear me, so should I just stop talking?
Honestly, I feel like the main problem in 2023 is the glorification of abuse and toxicity. I'm tired of seeing it. Every time I'm on TikTok, every time I'm on Facebook, every time I'm on Instagram, people are talking about how they want to be abused. And as somebody who's been in a domestic violence situation, that shit is not fun. Stop doing it. I'm tired of seeing it on my timeline because, like I was saying, as somebody who's experienced domestic violence, you don't want that. That's not love. That's not okay. And it always be coming from people who's never actually been in that type of situation or that type of scenario. So it's like, oh, I just want somebody to be obsessive over me. But people fail to realize 9 times out of 10 in a situation like that, you either come out with extreme trauma or you get killed. There's been times where I've had a gun held to my head. That's not okay, not, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like people just like the idea of being obsessed over and also being kept. But that's not what love is. That's not what love is. And y'all need to isolate yourself and really ask yourself, do I want that? Because having somebody pop up randomly after you said that you want to leave them alone, it's not fun. You're trying to work on yourself. You're trying to love other people. You're trying to experience other things. And this person is telling you you're not worthy of that and you need to be over here. Why? Because they just want to keep you. And love is not to be kept. That's not. People think like because they're insecure, because they feel like they're not worthy, that they want to be kept by somebody, but that's not what love is. If you love somebody, they gonna be free. Mm-hmm. But not in a sense of going around with everybody, because that's what people, think. It's more so like, I'm allowing you to authentically be you, and I'm watching you, and I'm observing you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, this is gorgeous, and I'm being engulfed by that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, people...
Yeah, love. I definitely believe love should be given freely. Yes. Love should be given... Freely. Like, you can't be up on something so much. I do think that's a big problem, is obsession, and I'm glad that I'm not the only one that experienced that, because I've had guns pulled out on me, too. I've had people climbing my windows. I've came home, and people laying in the middle of my floor like, where the fuck did you come from? And why are you here? Because I said I was done. Right. So, because I think I still carry like some type of, like when people knock on my door like uninvited or on my window, it shakes me up, like, because that shit really like nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be stalked. So I think obsession and possession is a very big thing, and codependency, people thinking, you need them or they need you, and just learn that. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning, the balance with everything, the balance masculine and the top feminine energy, as well as balance with your life and your friends and your relationship, and still having a life outside of your relationship. Because I think people get lost into each other and they start living for people, especially light workers, people pleasers, and, oh my God, we want to make sure, our loved one has everything. Oh my God, babe, what you want to do today? Are you okay? Are you okay? You're not smiling? Oh my God, you okay? Yeah, I'm going to make you smile. We get into this role of wanting to make our person feel better, that we get lost into them, because sometimes they are already lost for real, and they want to get your ass lost. And that's that's the karmic that we was talking about, that becomes obsessive and forces the shit. Our next question is, it's kind of a double one. What are some experiences that you've had dating this year, and also if you could change the dynamic of dating collectively, what can you do dating? What could you change within yourself? Because it's so easy to see what other people can change and what other people can do, but really taking accountability and in that moment and being like, well damn, how can I make it different? Because change starts with you.
So my experience of dating this far this year, I got out of a long-term relationship in May. So we started dating last year in September, and love. That's all I can really say. It was a very loving experience, and I think when I think about it as a whole, the thing that people don't realize is so hard is about like receiving and giving love is like actually accepting yourself full, like actually accepting the fact that you can be loved fully. It triggers everything. Like it's actually somebody getting to know you, every aspect, communication, like how you are always. With us, mostly being conditioned to not being loved in the right ways, the way that we do things, we don't act out of our authentic self. So we might have certain communication issues. We have experienced trauma. So we don't know. With me, my experience was I didn't know how to communicate efficiently. When it came to communication, I was afraid of conflict because I come having parent authority issues, narcissism. So I'm like, we gonna talk emotions? Nah, baby, I'm gonna run. I don't know how to deal with that. No.
So with that being said, what would you change moving forward?
Speak my truth. Speak my truth, because it was definitely love, and it taught me, but it also taught me that I condition myself to be okay with what's expected. What do I expect love to be? And it was love, and I loved him as a person. But now I think getting out of a relationship and actually getting to know myself, the type of relationship I want, it's not monogamous.
It's not even.
It's exactly. It's not even what I want.
Yeah, love it. That's why I say, you learn through experiences what you want.
Yeah.
And we have to know that it's okay to be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Walk away and not feel.
And I'm thankful for the experience. I release in love.
Yeah.
I think that's also very important. I release in love.
They leave with hate and wish bad on you and all type of weird shit.
And sometimes love conditions you, like the love that we think is love conditions you to have that aspect. But I think that's why I'm so thankful for this experience, because I've had the experience of not being loved correctly. You know what I'm saying? I had to be with a narcissist and then follow that pattern. And wait a minute, bitch. Hold up. Wee. First of all, Spirit said, wake your ass up, bitch. Excuse me, ma'am. No. So I feel like that's why I was able to now then have that experience of actually being loved and actually being able to recognize, actually, I like to experience this. This makes me feel good.
Experience that you've had with dating this year, and what would you change moving forward about yourself, about your experiences?
So I haven't really been dating.
Okay, well, let's not say the year. Just say year.
And also, dating as a queer man is, like, dating within the queer LGBTQ space is very different, especially as a queer man, queer black man, and then one who presents in a varied fashion. It's just hard to pin me down in relationships, especially when it comes to how I present and all that other stuff. I'm very fluid. And I try to be very authentic in relationships. So I would say what I would change, or like my dating experience, right? I've been going through a very like intense kind of separation from someone for really the past 2 years.
So what have you learned?
That I enjoy love, I enjoy nurturing, I enjoy building. I want a partner who I can build and who can be my partner in love, life, passion, business. That's just how I work. I like to build things with those who are close to me. And that is something that I'm very grateful for.
So what was the lesson?
The lesson was, it's okay for me to love the way that I am. Like, it's okay for me to express, to say everything that I have to say. I think I learned a lot about loving myself in our last relationship, or in my last relationship, learning how much of myself I give in relationships, because I do date very intentionally. I am very forward thinking. But I also learned that I'm very rigid on my boundaries, which can be a good and a bad thing.
Okay, so that's what I was leading into. So what would you change?
I would change, I feel like the one issue for me in most of my relationships is intimacy.
Intimacy, you see.
Yeah. I can be very, men are physical. I'm not very physical. So I think showing more physically how I feel, like...
What's your sign?
Gemini.
And he got Scorpio. He is Scorpio. You Scorpio rising?
Scorpio rising.
It's a Scorpio in you. Yeah. They don't like too touchy-feely. They really buy you something.
I already knew that's what she was getting at. She was like, no,
that's literally my love language is gift
giving. Yeah, for sure. I was with a Scorpio for like 3 years. Got everything I wanted except for a hug.
And it will be everything that you want except for a hug. But also being with a person who's very much like that was what we mirrored each other in a lot of ways. I get wrapped up in all of my passions and these things. I'm very forward thinking. I think about the future. So I'm not very present in moments.
So you would
very often.
You would change. You would be present.
I would be a little bit more present. I would be more intimate.
Okay.
Allow myself to fall into my physicality, their physicality. Because, the most you'll get from me is like, I'm going to put my feet across your lap. If you want anything more, you're going to have to initiate that.
Oh,
you're going to have
that.
Okay, thank you, Angel.
Okay, so I was in a relationship, or more like a 30-day trial. This year. It was more like 4 months. It was like 4 months, but he came into my life and I thought he was what I wanted. Because he was the opposite of what I was getting before. He was very clingy. He was very, all up on my body, and I'm not used to that. I'm usually the other way around, asking and begging for love, and he was doing the opposite. We switched positions. And I thought that was what I wanted until I realized, like, I didn't like that shit at all. I didn't like you, like, calling me constantly wanting to be at my house. I would tell him, like, you know, I just need my space. And he would gaslight me into coming to my house after I just said, like, you know, we've been together for 4 days in a row. I don't like this. And then we'll be there. I literally told him, like, okay, come over tonight, but you gotta leave tonight. Somehow he stayed the night. Oh, I stayed because you was asleep. Nah, you could have left. You drove here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
You drove here. You could have left. Nobody was holding you hostage. I thought that was what I wanted, but it wasn't. I would say what it did teach me, though, is the fact that I felt like I couldn't leave because he didn't really give me a reason to. He wasn't beating my ass like I was used to. He wasn't, you know, putting guns to my head. He wasn't popping up out of nowhere, even though he started to show those tendencies after I broke up with him. It was more like, you know, why would I leave him? He loves me. You know, that's not okay. But I wasn't, something made me feel uncomfortable. And when I did break up with him, that same night, I should beat your ass like your ex did. Is that what's going to make you stay? That's exactly what he said. Is that what's going to make you stay? And I'm just like, so this is how you really are. Like, this is how you really are. That's why I was uncomfortable. Or you're getting mad because I don't want to have sex with you that night. That's why we broke up. That was the reason. But then it turned into, oh, because I said, you know what, I don't think I needed to be in a relationship to begin with. Everything that he did was pushed into the wind. Oh, that's why you was just leading me on. And even if that was the case, even if that's what I found out within that relationship, I'm okay to leave. You know what I'm saying? It's not working out for me. I'm deciding this is not for me. Regardless if you feel like you're loving me correctly, this is not for me. And I'm letting you know, and I'm not cheating. And I'm not going out doing you wrong. This isn't for me. And I don't want to keep you here when this don't feel right. You don't need to give me a reason. You don't need to beat my ass. I don't want to be here. So I'm not going to, and I'm not going to keep us here. But yeah, that's one thing I just feel like people need to understand. You don't need a reason. Just leave. Tell people that you need to let them go and be okay with that. And I felt like the bad guy for so long. But, nah.
So with that experience, that's what you learned?
Yeah, just go.
Leave.
Yeah, it's okay to leave. They don't got to beat your ass for you to leave. If it's not staying right with you, just leave that. It's going to be for the best of y'all. Because they're going to end up hating you if you drag them along. And then you will end up being their trauma, and you'll eventually end up abusing them, like, in a sense. So just let that shit go. The moment you realize it, let it go.
I like that. It sounds all too for fucking familiar to people who don't know how to go to fuck home. Bye-bye. It's time to go.
Or they make you feel bad for it.
I need my space.
Yeah. Ooh,
I need my space.
Girl.
And people want to say, and they complain,
you don't
and they
love
make you
me,
feel so
like,
bad. And it's a fucking...
You've been here for 4 days.
Go home.
My ex used to do that.
I need to breathe.
Yeah.
I need to wipe my ass. I need to do something without you watching me.
Right.
I could not be out of that man's society.
And I hate it because, again, as a Scorpio, I don't like to be clingy all the time. I need my space. That's how I recharge. That's how I'm going to love you better. With me being by myself. And you think I'm going to love you better because you're around me all the time? No.
So,
No.
I think boundaries.
Yeah.
It's,
Keyword.
Yes, baby.
Keyword.
Yes,
Keyword.
Baby, I love mine. Maybe too much.
That's
baby, I fuck it.
That's a big thing with
You know, set one.
that's a big lesson that came out for a lot of people recently when it comes to dating is holding your boundaries. Holding your boundaries and being able to do what you need to do for you regardless of how anyone else fucking feels.
Start getting dressed.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
It's me.
It's me.
Don't think too hard. Tell us.
Okay.
We want
Okay.
the juice.
Oh my gosh. It's a hard truth. It's not a hard truth to tell. It's just, it still hurts. Like, that's really. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I fell in love with a gay man.
Okay, we all was like, we wasn't ready.
The mic wasn't ready either. The mic fell.
We're all ready. Not that we're all stunned. Like,
Oh my god.
we're here for it. We support you.
You're not the only one.
Listen. I believe it. But it's like, fell in love with a gay man. My experience was just overextending my love. Keyword boundaries. Not having enough boundaries. Because I feel like I knew damn well
I just knew damn well, period. Like, but I wanted to love and I wanted to care. And that's just who I want to say that's who I am. But I needed that balance. Like, I was too much in my light. I needed my shadow. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, there's so many things that he had mirrored back to me. And I think that's why we had such a attraction to each other. But it's like, ooh, child, because it's like deep healing work that you have to do, and it's like maybe I have something with my own sexuality. Like, that's how deep this shit goes. So it's like I be like looking at myself in the mirror, like, damn, like, was he my reflection? Why did I fall in love with him? Why did I? And even like some of the abuse, it remained. Like, his energy latched onto me. And I think maybe it was the sexual connection. Maybe it was just the connection, period.
Like, was there any red flags that you ignored?
Hell yeah! Oh my God, I was so fucking head over heels. Like, because that's the thing. Like, I understand, like, sexuality is a spectrum, period. Okay, like, we like sugar in our tank. Okay, like, ain't nothing wrong with it. But it was the fact that you lied. It was the dishonesty. And then you presented yourself to be a certain way. Like, you loved me. It wasn't there. Because you immediately, the way that it switched, it was a flip of a switch. And it was hate. I
don't feel like that. It wasn't real.
No, it probably was. And it definitely was. But he doesn't love himself. So he was projecting his self-hate onto me. And I wasn't tolerating that.
Exactly.
Like, my shadow was not tolerating that. So I cut him off. And I love breaking up with toxic people because the way spirit rewards you after the breakup is amazing. Like, you start to see all the things that were suppressed in the relationship. Like, I remember when I just broke up with him, I felt so confident. I felt so confident in my body. And I just loved myself. Yes. I loved myself more. Like, it was so... And I speak of it as this past tense because I feel like I'm going through a similar situation that I have to release somebody. Letting go is like a really hard experience.
That takes us to the next episode, which we'll be talking about letting go and how hard it is to actually stand on business. I want to thank everybody for sharing their experiences, and I hope by listening to this, you found some things in yourself that may need a little changing or things that you learned. Remember that relationships come to teach us and show us what we really want. It was good hanging with you guys today, and we'll see you on the next episode. Follow.